how you respond is really important to the actual problem itself. So how you respond to a problem is actually just as important as how we as the problem itself. How we respond to the problem is just as important as the problem itself. So the problem is I'm not getting cut through. How do you respond? Hey there, expert. Rana Saini here. See, the wealthiest business coaches and consultants see business success as the system. This podcast, The Expert Advantage, contains real-world, in-the-trenches business advice that our clients use to gain a strategic advantage in growing their million-dollar expert business. It's my hope that you use these short lessons and insights to gain your strategic advantage in growing your expert business, and maybe one day soon partner with us at The Expert Project to take your expert coaching and consulting business to $1 million and beyond. I hope you share and enjoy. Welcome, everyone. Do I have a treat for you? So what I'm going to do is, if everyone's cool with it, while you're thinking of some questions, because ultimately these sessions are really about helping you guys implement either front-end marketing, so getting people from a lead to a conversation, or getting your events working well, so, like you're actually turning conversations into, bookings, turning attendees into booking. So marketing is the science of attraction, and it really comes down to your offer and your audience. And so I've written up a couple of things today I really want to share with you guys in case you find it valuable. Some of you are a little bit further ahead than others. Some of you have a good offer that's validated. Some of you have a good offer that's working. Sometimes it's about doing things a little bit better. So what I'll do is I'll spotlight this. I'm going to give you this document in the chat, and I'm going to pop it here for you guys as well. What I'll do is I'll walk you through this. It'll be a really good start to this session. What I'm going to do is share it on the screen as well so you guys can see it. So ultimately, guys, what I want to do is give you guys a little bit of a reference point for your marketing. And this is a good document that we're going to use, we're going to sort of, where I can, I'm going to start putting stuff down in IP that you guys can use that's got sort of utility value. And essentially, when I look at marketing, this is what I do for us, at various different times. And there are a couple of principles that are really important here in marketing for you to realize, right? Because business is really about an offer, and all you do is you wrap a commercial element around an offer. That's what a business is. If you think about it, it's literally an offer, and around it is marketing, sales, and delivery. So without an offer, you don't have a business. So this is a really important document. And your offer is only as good as the interest it receives. Now, if you don't get the interest that you think, it doesn't mean your business isn't great. It just means you haven't maybe got the offer articulated well enough yet, right? And a good idea in theory doesn't always translate as a profitable outcome in practice. It's too easy to spend time majoring in the minors when it comes to offer creation and lead generation, which means we try to make everything perfect and we consider all of these things and we get the colors right and the branding right, the style guide right. And at the end of the day, worrying about getting things perfect is the exact reason why it never will be. So the things that we've got to look at in your business, and this is across all elements of your business, is idea, execution, validation. Now, Jeppo, that's the same with your getting people into your next program. Marie, that's sort of getting your ideas into new companies, or how you can give it to new departments of the same company. Now, Myra, this is what we discussed last week, having a 30-day, having a 90-day. At the end of the day, an idea needs to be executed to be validated. Action precedes clarity. And you truly don't know unless you do, right? And so the easiest way to know how much energy and effort to put behind an offer is to make 10 of them, right? Make 10 offers. People often ask me, Rana, what do you think about this offer? I'm like, I think it's good enough to go out there, but making 10 offers to 10 prospects will give you a minimum data set to analyze. Now, that doesn't mean sending 10 LinkedIn messages. What it means is having 10 conversations. Making an offer is saying to someone, this is what I do, this is how I do it, this is what you need, what do you think? Do it to 10 people. Because ultimately, that's going to be the true reflection of the value of your offer, right? The goal is to then make 3 sales. And 3 sales is a good benchmark to measure the effort economics required to make it scale. For example, if it takes you months to sign up a contract, or if it takes you 1 million leads before you get a conversation, or if it takes you 100 conversations before you can get a client, what we know is that the effort economics involved aren't viable. Does it mean you've got a bad business? No. It just means you've got to do what you do better. What you have and how you do it, we need to make it better. And that's why in business, time under tension is important. You can't read a book, have an idea and say, I didn't make money from my idea, therefore my idea sucks. Maybe your idea just needs to have a little bit more breathing room, like a bottle of nice wine, pop the cork, let it air, and just let it oxidize in the marketplace. Put it in front of people. And once you know people will buy something, you can put more resources behind it, time, money, and effort. It then becomes about distribution, right? Reach and reputation. If I know I can sell 3, what I need to do is get that in front of more people more often and actually demonstrate what I do better across more platforms so people see me, believe me, and buy from me. Okay, so if you love your offer, this is the thing that I see a lot of the times is if you love your offer and you're excited by it, but nobody else is expressing an interest in it, then there's likely 2 problems. And it doesn't matter, by the way, it doesn't matter how much you care about your business or whether you go, well, I'm going to try another program or another program. I'm going to jump from this program to that program or read this book and that book or do this course or that course. The problem will just follow you around. That's what we know. So you're better off solving it before you try to, because all you're doing is deferring it. Okay, and so articulation is the first thing. If the way you frame or present your offer doesn't link to a buyer's needs strongly enough, you'll see it in the levels of interest that you receive, the quality of the conversations that you have, and ultimately the sales you make. So it's not personal, it's just objective. You review the problems that it addresses, you look at the solution that your offer offers, and you ensure that it truly aligns to the core problems that your perfect future customer faces. Perhaps you've overcomplicated it. Perhaps the offer is too big. Perhaps you haven't made it tangible enough or specific to a measurable outcome or opportunity. And so ultimately what we see there, guys, is that articulation is purely the words you use that shape people's perceptions and motivations. Sometimes you're using the wrong words. Sometimes you're using too many words. Sometimes you're just not using the right words. And so over time, the more you talk about it, the more offers you make, the more your marketplace is actually helping you shape your offer until it succeeds. And what we do is we tend to give up and then we start again. And you're like, well, you've still got to run the same process. It doesn't matter. You can't avoid the work, right? Sometimes it can take people a month. Sometimes it can take people 6 months. But our ability to adapt, to win work and learn from the work that we don't win is the difference between why we succeed long-term and why we give up in the short term. And so when I sat down on the weekend, I was writing this out for you guys for these masterclasses, I was thinking, well, what's the other part? Demonstration. Well, demonstration is about, well, talking is one thing. I can talk about it all day, but showing you is another. Being able to clearly and confidently link, relate, and communicate your offer through a model or framework gives your prospects something to see and something to believe. And I always say they have to buy into you before they buy from you. So how you demonstrate is actually your point of difference. So how people see you, how they experience you, how you make them feel, the insights that you give them, showing your value through social content, through videos, through workshops, through presentations, through micro trainings, it increases the value in the eyes of your audience. If all people do is just do number one, and they literally just articulate what they do, well, you're only 50% effective. The other 50%, which is why we do the sprints every month, is to focus on demonstrating our expertise. And getting your ideas into the world is as an important step in being able to make an impact in it. If you want to make an impact, you've got to let your ideas have oxygen. And the more you demonstrate your offer, the better you become at marketing and selling it. And as frustrating as it is to not get a win, and we've all been there, I've been there, as much as it sucks where you're so passionate about what you do, and major credit to you, Almira. I know how patient you had to be to curate and figure out and adapt and tweak and change. But the thing is, you kept moving. And what we start to see is you go, well, that worked. I like the way I framed that. I like the way I said that. When I said that, that connected with that person. How I worded that seemed to relate. And what the marketplace is showing you through actual experience is do more of that and do less of the other stuff. Let your marketplace shape your message within reason, right? And let's get clearer on this. So the more you demonstrate your offer, the better you become at marketing and selling it. Now we need to leverage low-hanging fruit. The easiest way to test the market is to look at the market you already have in front of you. How many perfect future customers do you have? Do you have assets that are literally in front of you that you aren't leveraging? This is where a lot of people say, well, I got this deal from LinkedIn, but it wasn't through the work I did with you guys. It was from an old connection. Yeah, but that old connection would never have come into play if you didn't actually get active. So whether you credit it to us or yourself or someone else, doesn't matter. The reality is you got active. You put an offer in the marketplace. You got an opportunity. Credit to you. Good job. Past prospects, past clients, past connections, JV partners, email databases, social connections, existing networks, it makes no difference. You have assets in front of you. The aim here is to line up your assets and reach out to them to start creating conversations around your offer. That's it. 10 conversations, make 10 offers, make 3 sales. And the more conversations you have, the more you'll improve your offer. So you take note of the questions you get asked. You take note of the objections that you get. You take note of the resistances that you feel in you where that didn't feel right. You take note in the way you take note when you feel resistance in you, you look at what you say and when you say things and how that makes you feel. Like some things you'll say to you, that didn't feel good. Some things you'll say to you, I like the way I said that. That's really important. And the clarifications that are required from your clients actually are showing you where there are gaps in your offer. And you use it as feedback, as a mechanism to sharpen your offer and move you closer to being able to monetize it. So it's not about whether you make it in business or not. It's just about whether you win or whether you learn. You will win. You will ultimately make sales and you will do well if you follow this path. Win or learn, conversations lead to conversions. Use each one to get a win or figure out what to or what not to do to get one. Every conversation should lead you closer to the business you want. Always ask, is your offer really clear? Honestly, does it point to an outcome that your audience actually wants? Not what you like, but what they want. Do they understand what you're offering or what you're asking? Is it meaningful? Does it solve a compelling problem? Does it link to needed solutions? Do they really want it? Like, be honest. Anything that they don't want or that you don't think they want, cut it out. The only offer you should make to get people to a yes should be the one that they need the most right now. That's what people want. That's why we talk about our A-B offers, because sometimes people don't want the big one. They just want the small one that gets them some level of relief sooner. Results or rejection. Results happen on the other side of potential rejection. If you want results, you must be willing to face rejection. This is counter to what we want as people, because it's really hard to have someone say no to something that you put time, money, and energy behind, especially something that you love. So if you want results, you must be willing to face rejection. At some point, rubber has to hit the road and you need to put yourself out there. And that's the problem, isn't it? Because sometimes we don't think we're good enough, right? If you're not active, you're not an option. And when you become active, you also become a target. That's scary. It's easy for small people to want to bring you down to their level because it means you don't have to do the work to grow. They don't have to do the work to grow. Easy. People who aren't active will always tell you when you get active to not be so big. Calm down. Go slower. Take it easy. You sound silly. Stop spamming me. I don't like this message. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Next. So you make a plan and you make it happen. Optimize for conversations. Seek out rejection, but surround yourself with people who believe more in you than you do. That's really important. More in you than you do. Let me finish off that sentence. So what's your 14-day launch plan? I always ask people, and this doesn't mean that, I've already launched Runner. Yeah, I know. But what's your next 14-day launch plan? Every month you're launching. Businesses are always launching. You never stop launching. You've got to launch a new offer. What's your 14-day launch plan? Who can you reach out to? Use simple asks and invitations versus marketing newsletters and broadcasts, because the shorter and more personal it appears, the more engagement you'll get. Literally like this. Hi, name. I'm inviting a group of, let me get that better, of 5 audience to work with me to get promise in time. Would you like the details? Yes or no is fine. What are the activities that drive the outcomes that you want? LinkedIn is fantastic. You guys have an engine that every day someone is going to get an offer from you on LinkedIn. You are literally testing and curating the market every single day and building assets. 1, doing the sprint, literally putting out an event and an offer to turn leads into attendees, into conversations. 2, you're doing everything you can in a systemized way. Experts giving you all of that in front of you. What you've got to do then is understand what assets that are in front of you can you leverage to validate your offer sooner. Right? What are they? Who are they? Most importantly, you got to begin. Because every great business was built on an idea and then an offer, and you're no different. And so in this document, the thing that I put together, I was sitting there on Sunday and I was thinking, how can I just make this as simple as possible? Because if you read that document from a marketing standpoint, that is everything that you need to do. But it's the doing that's going to give you the insight. The insight is what's going to give you the wisdom, the experience to actually make your business better. And who here, by the way, like I know we've only got a couple of people, so like, who here has ever got frustrated that their offer wasn't getting cut through? That their offer was just not working, right? Just yay, nay in the chat. I have. How we respond is really important to the actual problem itself. So how you respond to a problem is actually just as important as how we as the problem itself. How we respond to the problem is just as important as the problem itself. So the problem is I'm not getting cut through. How do you respond? You give up? Business not going to work? Go home? Try something else? I don't know. What we've got to do is leverage each other, because right now, like, let me ask the other question. Who here has got a win by persevering? Let me know in the chat. Yay, nay. I have 3 children. It's great. Yeah. No one talks about persevering. No one talks about the resilience required to run a business. And I'm here to tell you that every single one of you is going to win. Guaranteed. Like this, you cannot take action and not get a win. The reason why people don't win is because their expectation and their runway don't match. So they give themselves a 3-month runway. They give themselves an expectation that 3 months should be enough to make their business boom. But the reality is that the runway required based on who they are and what they need to become is probably going to take like 6. So people build momentum at 3. They build momentum at 3. So if I look at it like this is your expectation, right? Expectation is I'm going to go from 0 to here, 3 months, and I'm going to make $1 million, for example. But the runway required to do that is based on not just what you know, but who you become, aka how you show up, how you think, how you act, how you learn, how you speak, how you adjust, how you adapt, how you get back up. The how is probably more important than the what in most cases. But the how comes with experience. The how comes with learning. The how comes with doing. And sometimes the runway required to get to that million is probably going to be more like, let's call it 6 or 9 or 12 or 18. It doesn't matter what the number is. The reality is it's there, but it's going to require a who and a how. And so if all we do is just go, great, I need to give myself runway because it's going to start more, this is the reality, is my business is probably going to start more like that. The person who achieves this number of revenue, I guarantee, is far different and is totally different in skill set and mindset from the person who is here. No one talks about that. So I know this is a marketing chat, but what I really wanted to just share with you guys through that document and also through just this chat is to let you know that your business is an idea and essentially at its core is an offer. It is a good offer because it comes from a good place of intent. Our goal is to make that offer as translatable and relatable as possible. And sometimes what we think and what we get are two very different things. So our goal as business owners is to play around so what we think and what we get match, which is, I think I should be able to earn $100,000 a year, for example. Oh, I can do that. Right? Anyway, that's my little discourse for the night. Everyone have a good day. But what I do want to say is, like, do you have any questions? Do you have any thoughts? Or would you like to workshop some of your offer to get the language, to get the demonstration or the articulation dialed in? It's what I'm here for. Marie, let's get your question. Let's jump into a question and I will take you off. And by the way, anyone who has any more questions, throw them in. I'm here to help you guys. Let's do it. Marie, good to see ya.
Yeah, you too. So my question is, I've put out a workshop as part of my sprint, a virtual workshop. And after putting it out, and also sending emails to my low-hanging fruit, people who have expressed interest in my workshops before, I then got an offer from the company where I do the psychological safety assessment. And up until the 31st of March, they're offering a special offer that I can offer clients or prospects to have their whole organisation surveyed free. Like, it's like an irresistible offer. But the only thing they pay for is my presentation to the leadership team of the results of the survey.
Mm-hmm.
So I have people that I've already emailed and had no response from. And so I'm looking at these different groups, and then I'm thinking about, will I position that offer on at the workshop at the end? Because it's only come to light after I've actually launched the marketing for the workshop. So does that make sense? So I have some different groups, but I'm just looking at, I'm thinking, should I call the people who have expressed interest in the past and make an offer and say, since okay.
See, well, let's go. Sorry, Marie, just because something came up for me. What's the offer? Is it the survey?
Yes, the offer is to have their whole organisation surveyed free. It's a psychological safety survey. I mean, it's worth lots. So it's a very good offer. The only thing I pay for is my presentation to the senior leaders of the results of the survey.
Okay.
Now it's a limited time offer.
Yeah, no doubt. I just want to throw something at you. This is just purely from. This is and again, I'm going to ask anyone, do you think organizations would be scared to actually run a psychological safety survey based on what may come out?
So I hear what you're saying. And as I do a case study in my webinar, I show what that looks like and a heat map and what the organization was like before and what we did afterwards. So,
yes. Okay.
So, yeah. So yes, and to answer your question, yes, to just go in cold and say I'm offering a psychological safety survey is like heavy.
Yeah. Ceci's got a hand up. Go, Ceci.
Yeah, I just want to share one information that I had with a leader of a company, and it doesn't matter if they are female or male. I asked them why they don't just ask their employees if they sense that they are unhappy, right? To find out what they need to fix. And they were like, they don't want to ask them because they are scared of the terrible results. They know they are unhappy and just sit it out because they don't want to hear it. And I heard this from multiple different businesses. Also one that said, well, we know they are unhappy. They are always unhappy. And yeah, let's just take that because we don't want to hear a more worse response than we assume right now or that we already got. So it's really weird. So they know it. And instead of using the tool that would help them moving forward, they'd rather, close their eyes.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Thanks, Ceci, for that. I was just going to say, Marie, it's kind of like years ago, and there's some really, we'll circle back to some of the questions here. Years ago, does everyone remember in Australia, there's this, actually it's international, there was a company called Fitness First. Does everyone remember the company Fitness First? It was
I remember.
Yeah, there you go. In Australia, right? So what we used to do, Maria, I'm linking this to you, right? This is what...
We had Fitness First.
Yeah, they had this, when I first started out, like as a job, I actually got a job as a membership consultant, which basically was you go out and you go on the street, you walk around, you get people's details and you try to book them in for an initial consultation to sign them up. Like it was hardcore sales. It was literally on the street, walking up to a stranger, getting their personal details to go back to the club, to ring them up, to book them in. Like, anyway, I tell you that because one of the things I said, right, to they had this list and they're like, do not contact list. And I remember going, why can't I contact that list? And they're like, do not contact that list. They're what we call sleepers. I'm like, what do you mean? They go, sleepers are people who've signed up for a membership and they never use it. And we don't want to call them because if you call them, they'll say, oh, actually, I haven't used that for ages. Can you cancel it? So they say it's better to leave them asleep. It's more profitable for us to leave them asleep than it is for us to wake them up. And I was like, that is disgusting. Like, from a business standpoint, when you talk about but that's not Fitness First. That's every gym, right? They make the majority of their money from the clients who don't turn up. That's how business models work. They oversubscribe their gyms. Now, why am I saying that to you? One of the things I think you could look at is if I broke down psychological safety, and Marie, let's do that now quickly, is if I broke down psychological safety, what are 3 benefits of psychological safety? What are the 3 things? Because psychological safety is not an offer or an outcome. It's actually a condition, right? So what are the 3 things that would have to happen for the company to be psychologically safe? What would it be?
So people would need to be connected. There need to be high trust.
Okay.
And also, I'm just reading what Craig wrote in the chat, which is really valid. Maybe you could use Rob's approach and outline the regulatory and legal requirements to understand the situation. So yes, so it's about psychosocial hazards.
Yeah.
So you can actually see what psychosocial hazards and risks are there. So it's about mitigating the risk. Mitigating the risk of of a psychologically unsafe environment. And the other would happen is
what would happen? Sorry, go Marie. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
And the thing is, if people don't feel safe, then they don't speak up. And the number one thing about psychological safety is people don't feel safe enough to speak up.
Yeah. So the negative of it is psychological safety is important because ultimately it's about feeling comfortable. If you made it, it's about feeling comfortable and at home in your workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So psychological safety is a very scary term for saying, feeling safe or unsafe, feeling comfortable or uncomfortable.
Mm.
Now, when you're comfortable, you build trust and connection. When you're comfortable, you actually mitigate risks because people are more loyal. When you think about it, what's the other thing is innovation takes place because people are actually more likely to take risks. Risks mean the right risks. Innovation is essentially taking a calculated risk to improve things. And I remember doing a neuroscience course and they talk about this thing called, there's a code for the brain. Anyway, it's about expression. When people have to mask their feelings or thoughts, there's like a stat. I'll get it for you. It's like they literally operate at 60% cognitive function because the other percentage is focused on masking their emotions. So you actually have a dumber workforce. So your workforce is literally 40% more incapable in an environment where they don't feel comfortable. So what I'm saying is, ultimately, is if I was to frame your offer, Marie, I would talk about psychological safety sparingly, as much as you would know what it is, because I would say we specialize in psychological safety. We're actually doing a survey to actually increase the trust and connection of organizations, mitigate risk, increase loyalty, improve innovation, and increase people's performance by up to 40%. Is that something that we could do for you for free? Now, that is a very different offer than would you like me to survey your organization for free around the benefits of psychological safety? You see, same offer leads to the same place, but different words, different kind of like... Now, what are your thoughts on that? Hey there, expert. So listen, our mission here at the Expert Project is to positively impact the world of other business coaches and consultants just like you. We want to help them make more impact, have more income, and have a positive influence on the world. And see, the only way we can do that is if you've heard something in today's episode that moved you, created an insight, changed your perspective, or gave you an aha moment. All I'd ask you to do is take 10 seconds, rate and review this podcast so together we can help spread the word about this podcast and have a positive influence in someone else's world.
Oh yeah, so so maybe I didn't position it as a survey as the about the benefits of psychological safety. In a 3 minute, it's amazing. In 3 minutes, it can print in a 3-minute survey. It can print out the results of where it is and where it's missing, and in a heat map format, plus the areas that need attention, and what level teams are at. So if they're A, they're working as a group of individuals. If they're B, there's some cohesion, and if they're C, they're creating we in the workplace. So they're working as one, as a team, and that's the exponential results that they get. So it does give a lot of information, little information that's really, really powerful. And that I can just look at that and say, these are the conversations that are missing. These are the conversations that need to be had, and this is how you implement it. So that's the value I can add at the end of it.
Yeah, I just think when you're moving to an offer, the thing that you would say is we're actually surveying organizations to improve team connectedness and performance, to benchmark. The word I would use, to benchmark your team and their performance to give you better insights on how to get the most out of your people. Would you be interested in a free survey? Valued at, thousands of dollars, whatever it is. Maybe you don't just value that. Would you be interested in a free survey? Happy to send you a sample so you know what it looks like. And you could send them a sample report.
Mm-hmm.
Try offering that. If you want to put that in the expert arena, Marie, that little email blurb, try putting that out there. And I reckon you'll probably get more responses if you frame it from that angle. I think you'll get more responses, because who wouldn't want that?
And I think I could use, what you've got there as a structure or for a slide that positions it in the webinar after I've shown them the heat map and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a closing. And they'll already have a context for it, but to go and without any context, that is a little difficult. I get that.
Yeah, and I think also the words psychological safety it's so necessary in organizations, but it's also something that people don't want to touch in a way because they're scared of being in trouble, and I don't think they realize it. It's just because the connotations of the word psychological safety, it sounds scary. It's not, but it sounds scary. When you humanize it a bit by saying, we're going to benchmark your team to get the most out of your people, happy to do a free report and give it to you, people are, okay. And you could talk about how psychological safety plays a role in this, blah, 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 blah. And you could do a report, a presentation on it, Marie. But yeah, put the email in the group when you got it, and I'm happy to have a peek at it. We can workshop it. So send it out and then let us know how that email goes, because I reckon that's going to be a better angle.
Yeah, so I'll do that as a trial to the people that I've already sent the email to and haven't heard from, who have expressed interest in the past. So they should have some interest in it. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Okay. Hey, Jeppo, do you have any questions as well? I'm happy to help you as well here, mate.
Just put one in there.
Oh, great. Good. There you go. Okay. I've got our...
I pressed enter as you said that.
Okay. Let's talk. I'm going to solve that in a second, right? Because there's a very simple fix and a very simple template I'm going to give you. I'm going to send that out today, and I want to see what happens. So that's cool. Almira, you've said, and this is a big thing to say, is that, and I get it, that you said, I don't think my offer is resonating. Okay, cool. Well, let's just, if you don't mind, let's just break the offer apart and see whether we can put it back together a little bit more betterer.
The reason I say that is because when I go into a brainstorm call, and I'm finding that the ladies that I'm speaking to have very specific things that they want to achieve, and it's more that they really want to They just want some specific one-on-one coaching to take them there, rather than a program that takes them through a whole lot of other things. Now, it doesn't mean that that's not what they need, ultimately, but it's not what they want and not what they're expressing they want. So that when I talk through what the offer is, it doesn't really resonate.
So wait, no, but it is resonating with them, right? Let's just pause for a second. I think there's two things to what you're saying. There's the people, right? Mm-hmm. There's the people, and then there's your process. And then there in the middle is like this program. And I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to, and I think it's great, but you said just then, which is fantastic, that they want one-to-one is what they're saying they want.
Well, it's not what they're saying they want. What they're saying is that they want something like, for example, I had a conversation last night with a woman, and I have another launch call with her a week yesterday. So, she's interested in doing this, but on a one-on-one basis. What she wants to do is go from selling into, she's in the sort of financial market with a big company, and she is selling their investments into high net worth individuals, so investment products into high net worth individuals. And what she wants to do is to get to the point where she feels really comfortable selling those sorts of products to high net worth individuals now who are 10 times wealthier than the ones that she's currently dealing with. So instead of having assets of about 10 million, she's talking about people with assets of 100 million, okay, and feeling really comfortable in there. So that's very different from what my program addresses. My program addresses...
Well, okay, you tell me, what is your program address?
Well, my program addresses what I call the foundations of leadership. So it's really about getting a really solid foundation of personal power to take a stand, to make an impact, and to extend your influence.
Okay.
Right? And having done all of that, then you're in a position where it doesn't really matter what you want to do, whether that is a big career move or whether for this guy.
Ask the question, how does what you do link to what she needs? How can it?
Well, it gives her that really solid personal power and confidence.
It sounds like, would you say that that's what she would need in order to sell something for?
Yeah. Yeah.
So sounds like what she needs and what you do are pretty good.
Yeah. It's just that it's not selling her into a group program. It's selling her into one.
Think about this. Everyone think about this. And this is so important. Like, Elmira, this is great news, by the way. You should be thrilled. Firstly, you're having conversations. And as I read that document, what you're finding out is people just want one-on-one connection to start. So why don't you go, okay, my program, everyone just watch this, right? My program is 90 days. I'm going to do a one-on-one session with you. And for the first 30 days, we work on your personal plan together one-on-one. It doesn't mean that at the same time, you can't put them into a group where all of your ladies are in, much like what we do with the Expert Arena. And then every night or once a week, you actually do a group session and you invite them together to talk about the themes or the topics of your event. We're going to talk about personal power. I want to share with you something about that. You answer the question. Because when I'm helping Elmira, I'm helping PT. When I'm helping PT, I'm helping Ceci. When I talk to Andrew, I'm helping with Craig. And so you still mentor them.
That is the format of my group program. There's one-on-one to begin with, to get them set up. There is one-to-many group sessions on a weekly basis, and there is the training itself. And I'm not sure how to do the training because I think that pretty much needs to be live rather than recorded, I think, because
Okay.
otherwise...
We're moving into the tactics, and that's okay. All I'm saying is, can we just go, I think if someone wants one-on-one, sell them one-on-one, but give them one-on-one maybe every 30 days, or find the frequency that works for you, Elmira, but then put them into a group as well, and you can still have one-on-one. It just doesn't need to be one-on-one every single week. There's two parts to this, right? One, let's get you to a problem, Elmira, where you've got clients who are all one-on-one and you're going, hey, Rana, I've got a lot of clients and they're all one-on-one and I'm making money, but I'm losing time. Let's solve that problem when that becomes the problem. And I think that's a different problem because I can help you with that one. That's easier because now you've got the confidence and the power to actually make that call because you've got the revenue coming in and it'll be great. And you'll be like, hey, I've got 10 clients and yeah, it's taking up a bit of time, but I can help you shift away from that model. It sounds like your market is saying, I really value one-on-one. And what we do is as you get more one-on-one clients, we can figure out time. Maybe you give them access to you via an SMS in between. Mm-hmm. Maybe you do a once a week chat. Maybe you increase your prices after you get 5 clients on. So as you're building, and then you can sell your group program as a downsell. But it sounds like for now, if people want to start with you, Elmira, they're there. You said, okay, I can do one-on-one. It's a little bit more than the group program, but I'm happy to offer you that. And you maybe just charge a little bit more, get them in, and it gets them started. And then over time, we can transition them into a group program where we put them into a community, and that community becomes the start of your program. Sounds like you're doing, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, a little confused, but which is sort of where I've been the last while, sort of questioning whether the group program is actually going to take off. Do you know what I mean? Because when I do have these conversations with women, it seems very much as if it is to address a very specific challenge that they have, and the easiest way for me to do that is one-on-one for, sort of 3 months or 6 months or whatever it happens to be. So what you're saying, I think if I understand you correctly, is just carry on like that. Know that I've got this group program and get all of my one-on-one clients into a community and offer them, in addition to the one-on-one, offer them then maybe a round table once a month or something like that, where we can bring them all together and, excuse me, have a structured conversation there that supports each one of them and gives them access to other people who are also on a similar sort of journey. Because basically what I'm doing, whether it is one-on-one or whether it's within this group program that I'm creating, is dealing with what you call the journey along the runway, who they need to become. Because, for someone who wants to get another job, is in a situation where they're unhappy in their current work and they want to get another job, they know the steps on the outer journey, what I call the outer journey. They know the steps to take and the interviews to go through and all the rest of it. But what they don't necessarily have is the skills or the development, who they need to be and the how of the inner journey. And that's what
Absolutely. I think when I first started my group coaching program, and for everyone here, I started my group coaching program, I took on 10 one-on-one clients first. And the 10 one-on-one clients helped me create the IP I needed, or at least consolidate it and improve it. I put my 10 clients into by the way, if anyone wants to, Nigel Donovan, who's still with us, is one of my first one-on-one clients. And look, he's in a group program with you guys. So what I'm saying is, like, you get 10 clients, then you put them into a container and you facilitate in a group, you coach one-on-one, and over time they need less of you and they lean more on the group because you focus more on the group. How are we going, guys, today? Put it in the group. Because what we do is we tend to text people one-on-one. Hey, Jeppo, how you going? I can go into the group and say, hey, Jeppo, how you going in the group? And now my check-ins happen and my activity happens through the group. So I train my clients over time how I want them, where I want them to hang out and where I want them to do and how I want them to be, because that's what I want my business to be. So at the start, when you're starting, you start in a way that is it's not ideal, but I've never seen any business go, I have a plan. I want 30 clients in a group and I'm going to make 100 grand. And it went and happened. So the moral to the story is that, Elmira, you're exactly right. Start, get them in, get them moving, get them loving you, get them liking you. You get learning, you get curating and crafting and building. And then over time, you put them into a group, you do a monthly round table with them and you facilitate conversations and connections and it'll come to life. That's how you build a group program. Yeah. Because people are scared at the start to be in a group of people they don't know. The only thing they know is you. And so that's why we still have one-on-one in our programs. We still do it. Because I believe one-on-one is a really nice touch point. It allows us to have a very personal chat without anyone else listening, and we can actually have hard conversations, which I think is necessary in coaching. We can have supportive conversations, and we can share some things that are actually quite private. Maybe it's details about personal life. Maybe it's data about business. But one-on-one has a place. But just the fact that you're starting and having conversations, Elmira, and your marketplace is saying, hey, I've got this thing, I think you could still use your IP to work on their problems and over time learn how to shape. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is essentially what I do. And even in a conversation last night, one was really curious about some of the things. So I just shared with her some of the things that we would be doing, in terms, I said, I have some systems, I have some strategies, I've got really powerful tools and profiles that I'm using. Yeah. And we began talking about that and she got really curious about it. And I said, if you want to do that, then one move. So I think
okay, ring that bell, Elmira, keep going. And when you get your clients built up, I will work with you and help you build that group program and just give you the steps. But trust me, keep building your clientele. That's the best thing you can do for your confidence and your capability is to get clients. Promise you. Promise.
Yeah. Because the other thing that I had been considering, and I'm not really sure just how to do that, is that the group program itself is very similar to group programs I did before, but in a corporate setting, and whether that is probably the more appropriate place to add that thing.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, potentially.
And then I have questions of if the marketing message for them is different from what it is.
I don't think so. I don't think you should change it. I think right now you've got people coming in, and I think you can learn to facilitate getting people in and then build that group program. I think that's the winner for you, Elmira.
Okay.
Yeah. Let us know how you go. I think it's great. You're having conversations and they want to work with you and they want that one-on-one. Let's give it to them. And then let's build up your profile and let's build up that client base and let's just build up the revenue, and then we can make better decisions.
Okay.
Pretty good. Let us know if anything drops overnight or anything. Post in the group. If you have any questions, Elmira, we're here to help. For sure. Okay. Good chat. I love it. Well done. All right, Jeppo. jump off, mate. Let's have it. Oh, Ceci, have you got your hand raised? Sorry as well. I'll get to you just after Jeppo if you don't mind, or if you have a question in the chat, Ceci, jump in and I'll spend some time with you after Jeppo. Easy. Jeffo, jump off, mate. Let me know. Marketing to people that you know need this, but say they don't because ego is in the way. Cool. Give us an idea, mate. What's the context behind that, Jeppo?
I've got people that I intimately know that what their team's like, and their team can benefit from what we do. But you have the leader of the team. No, we're good at that stuff. And it's like, I know what good looks like. Good's here, and where your team's here. So you're telling me that your definition of good is there. So you actually don't know what good looks like. So yeah.
I reached out to a couple of people last month, and one guy said to me, and I've got his application form from last year. And I said, hey, do you need any help with marketing this year? It was just a message. And he came back and he said to me, no, we've got it covered. We're crushing it now. All good.
Yeah, that's what I get. And we've got a great team. They're doing really well in this stuff.
Yeah. So good. And so what I do is, you've got one or two choices for those people, Jeppo. One, you go, well, listen, they obviously don't have a need because they think they're going to fix. Like if someone doesn't have a need, then there's no opportunity, right? Someone says like, if you go, hey, listen, I can help you fix your broken arm, and they've literally got a compression fracture, and they're walking around going, I don't have a broken arm, mate. You're kidding yourself. You go, the only way you could do it is you could probably poke him in the arm, and the only way to poke him in the arm, I think, and this is me, is, hey, Jeppo, we just got this result with client. How's your team going? So I use case studies as a really good way to slap people who are in that zone, because it's like, unless you benchmark performance, they don't know. So say, for example, you say, we just had a chat with a client, and I'm not going to let you know who they are just yet because they had a big win. They made $100,000 last month. I'll take that with his permission, and I'll send it to a few people and go, well, this consultant just made $100,000. How's your marketing and sales going for 2024? Send. Now, what are they going to do? They either go, oh, it's fine, or they go, actually, let's chat. So the easiest way to push people who have high resistance is to put proof in front of them. Yeah. Proof breaks down barriers, mate. Like consistently proving that what you do is great and sharing it. You'll see in the way I email, you'll see in how we do it. I just let people know, hey, this is what's working. This is what's working. And the more you can do that, the more you'll break people down. Honestly, like there's a thing called the case study converter in our resource room, and it basically has the questions that you need to ask. And if you can just find a couple of clients, because the good thing is you're so niche, you've got the same people, interview 2 or 3 people over the next month with those questions, and then ask if they wouldn't mind. Like maybe give them a free session or something to say, hey, listen, like some people just are happy to share. Then use them. Send them to a few people, Jeppo. Punch a few people in the head.
Yeah, one guy today, and I was that close to saying, oh, do you want to share with me what you've done? No, he wrote this. So he wrote that I've developed my own skills and I've become a master in this, and now I fold it out to my team.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, have you ever been professionally trained?
Yeah. But the thing is, it's hard to say to
say dickhead. So
no, I know you thought it, but the thing is, if it's hard to sell, when you tell someone they're wrong, it doesn't make them more right. What do they say? A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that. Like, I can convince you, but if you don't believe it, mate, it's the same problem.
Yeah.
So a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
You've actually I've got a lot of clients, and I just haven't got around to getting good testimonials from them. So I think I just got to do that. Other question I had, I don't know if it's related to marketing. I'm going to go in a second, so I'll be quick. Is Lead message. Yep. I'm interested. No worries. Easiest way to go through it is to jump on a call. Are you free in the next week? Crickets. And so I have a sequence where I follow up 3 days later, don't hear from them, follow up 7 days later. And then if I don't hear from them 7 after that, I just say, should I close this off now? And a lot of the time the ones that don't respond, they just don't respond. And I don't know how to prod them more.
Like people say they're interested and you go back and you say, hey, and I'd look at the message that you send. So that's one thing. I'd also see if you can send it to them via email as well, Jeppo. If you can find their email and send it to them via email is another way to do it. Just say, hey, got this off. A great template to use is, Andrew, we were chatting on LinkedIn, but like me, you might not get on there often. Here's a link to my calendar. Look forward to having a chat. Right.
So I've got the other profiles going. So they usually get the lead. Now, the first message is, the bloody AI thing. You hold your hand up. Watch this. Check this out.
Yeah, you can turn it off.
No.
You can turn it off. Yeah.
It's fucking annoying because otherwise I didn't answer. Anyway, I'm off, distracted. So these other profiles, the first message we have is best way to do it is talk to our CEO. Would you be interested in a call? Is what's the best email to get you on? Often they write back because their email in LinkedIn is often a Outlook or Google or something. Want their work one because that's the one they look at all the time. So you'd normally get that, but often it's probably half and half. You get nothing or you get the email almost instantly.
Yeah. I think, again, one of those things is I would put them on a leads list. I'd have a hot leads list and I'd take them offline. I'd add them into a database of some sort because they would be what I call, we have that, a hot leads list. Put them into a database of some sort and just add them to your cadence of emails, right? Mm-hmm. So worst case scenario, go, cool, don't worry about it. Add them in and then they just add them in. So when you're doing your next workshops and all that stuff, they just get the emails and then
you've had permission to do it up with GDPR and them? Or you just check them in?
GDPR is only B2C. It's not B2B.
Okay. Well, all right.
Cool. Yeah, do that, mate. Case studies and emails. I reckon that's the goal. Brilliant, dude. Cool.
All right. So easy.
Mate.
Way to go. Yeah. See you later. See you, everyone.
Hey, buddy. Good to see you, mate. Ceci, how you going? Do you want to jump off and have a chat about that? I'm thinking, Ceci said, I am thinking about my corporate clients most likely not liking group coaching with their competitors as members. It's interesting, isn't it? That thinking. And we have.
It just popped in my mind suddenly, and I was thinking if it's really the right thing for me. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, like we said, we don't know unless we do. However, what I find is, and we have in corporate, there's two ways to do group. One, like Marie, like you did, you facilitate it in organizations through teams. So groups become teams, or you can get leaders from different organizations. So Nigel, I've helped Nigel do this over the years. It's taken a bit of time, but leaders from other teams, and they do at the start, how you facilitate determines how they kind of, get together and amalgamate sort of thing. So like anything, if I had a room full of my competitors or the same people in a room, often it's the mastery of a good facilitator, right? And I get it. There will be some initial resistance there, Ceci, 100%. But if you can get people into a group and you can facilitate conversations, like I'm part of a group that I facilitate and they're all business coaches. So essentially they're all after each other's clients. So you could see some of them are a bit like, I'm not going to tell you what my marketing strategy is because I don't want you to get clients. And another guy's like, it's so funny. I have a competitor and he emails his database with offers from me, and I email our database every now and then with offers from him because you know what? I just know some people just might not like me, they might like him, and vice versa. And I don't care. But in saying that, so getting back to your point, when you can get people to start sharing what's working for them in a group, even if it's competitors. You build massive camaraderie. So when someone's in a group, the best facilitators will go, hey, Marie, what did you do that worked really well in that part when you had that problem? How did you solve that problem? And Marie goes, well, I did this and this and this. And everyone's like, great. Well, what do you think about that? What would you do different? Oh, well, I've done that. Really like that. Who found that valuable? I found that valuable. What did you find valuable, PT? I found this valuable. Can everyone just give a real clap to Marie? Thank you. And so what you do is you force interaction by actually just identifying people and asking. But going back to your core thing, sometimes a group offer is it's not going to be as attractive as a one-on-one offer, purely because people perceive one-on-one to be the fastest path to a goal. And I think that in the marketplace, going back to what we said to Elmira and also to you, Ceci, is give people what they want until they're ready to hear what they need. And sometimes what people need to take the first step is what we've just got to give them. And I'm not saying you lie to people. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is if I say I need one-on-one and you can figure out a way to give someone one-on-one while still using that to grow the program that you inevitably want, you actually just use one-on-one to build your group program. So sometimes we have to do things a certain way to get the revenue in, to build the thing that we want, to fund the business that we actually want. Like I even said to you, PT, sometimes we've got to do hourly rate work and we've got to do day rates. We just have to do that because that's what we're doing now. That's where the money opportunity is. We do that, but then we use those opportunities to fund the marketing or the conversations that we need to build the business that we want. And that transition is not always easy, but it doesn't mean it's not working. It just means like, I'm going to take a contract because that's a win for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell that contract over the next 6 months into the thing that I want them to buy over time, because now they're actually paying you to sell to them. That's how I look at it. They're paying me an hourly rate to condition them into the program that I want them to be in. Fantastic. I'll take a day rate if it gives me $10,000 a month. And then I can actually get involved and let them know, hey, by the way, I'm offering this. Would you like me to add that in? We can do that. And after this contract, let's get you involved in this. And you transition the model you've got now, and over time you transition it into the model that you want, and you get paid to do it. It's better than holding out and not getting paid and doubting yourself, is this even working? Because it is working. Your marketplace is saying, I want one-on-one, I don't want group. Okay, cool. But they don't know what that means. So you just go, cool. Let's get you in, let's get you started. And then you start inviting them and facilitating the group that you want. That's how you build a group. And that's how you do it with corporate as well. So Ceci, get people in, get them working with you, get them paying, and then use that to fund the business model that you want to build. And
I'm doing this right now.
Yeah, awesome. It's not, like I said, I took on 10 one-on-one clients when I first started. Why? I wanted revenue. 2, I reframed it not as, I've got one-on-one clients, it's not working. I framed it as, I'm using one-on-one clients are paying me to build the business that I want, and I get the privilege of helping these people whilst helping me. This is great. So I did that. And we have to do that, because the most important thing that we do when we start is to begin and build that confidence, get those clients, bring in that cash flow, get that happening. And like, as you say, Peter, you got 5 leads you're trying that out on. Sometimes we've just got to be like, great, let's get you started. Let's build this project now. Well, day rates, hourly rates, great. No problem. Get them started, get the contract signed, and go basically, hey, listen, after this contract, this is how we can work. I'm happy to get you started on this. retainer based. We can do this as a retainer, and you learn how to do it over time. Anyway, Ceci, is that helpful?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, I want to make sure it's helpful, because ultimately, another friend of mine, we were talking about this the other week, and we were sitting down, and his coaching program has got just under 100 people in it, and he's done that in 4 months. And I said to him, I said, like, James, how did you do it, mate? What was your thing? And he said, I sat down and I worked out how many clients I wanted to have in my group program. He has a group program. And he said, what I did is I offered first one-on-one plan. And he goes, for the first 20 people, I actually gave them more one-on-one coaching just to get them over the line, to build the confidence that what I wanted, I could do. And he goes, I didn't do it the right way, like in the perfect way. He goes, but now I've got just under 100 people. Those one-on-one clients are in a group, and he still coaches some of them one-on-one, like, because he wants to, and that's up to him. But if he wanted to let those one-on-one clients go now, because he's like, after this date, I'm not offering one-on-one, happy to change the rate, he could do that too, and he's got the base now. He's built that base. It's the same way that I did it. It's the same way that I'd recommend anyone goes from one-to-one into group, is you use your one-on-one clients, get them together, facilitate conversation, facilitate community, encourage group communication. You have to use the group, so they use the group. And, because I have other clients who I don't want to do one-on-one. I'm like, why are you messaging your clients one-on-one then? Do it through your group. Oh, yeah. I do check-in calls for all my every day I do a check-in call with my one-on-one clients. I just don't want to do it anymore. Okay, so do check-in calls every day through the group. How you deliver will determine how people show up as well. And so, look, really good chats tonight. And can I just ask, if before you go and before we sign off for the night, if you jump into the expert arena, what I'd love, like, let's just light up this thing, and there's the link. Click that link, and if you could do yourself and me a solid, and just jump into the group and go, what was your big insight and big action today? What was your big insight and your big action? What's the one thing you were like, that was helpful for me, and this is what I'm going to do? Because what I'll do is I'll make sure, like, every time we do these chats, I can come back to the expert arena and be like, how did we go with that? How do we go with that? And we can just keep these conversations going, so I know that you guys are making progress. Is everyone cool to do that? Like, would that be okay? All you do is insight, action. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. Just think about it. Thinking music. When you're done, just say done. Then sign off for the evening or afternoon or morning or day. It's like today, PT, when you were talking about your triangle, and you're like, how did I do? And it's like, you know what? You did great because you did it. And the more you do it, the better at it you're going to get. Even if it wasn't good, who cares about good or bad? The only way you're going to make it good or make it better is by doing it. And so, I think it's really awesome.
I also have my stage set up today as well. And I did some test sound check and video.
Good.
Today, I'm watching back the video. I'm just like, it's a bit echoey in this room, so I need to fine-tune that a little bit. But I've got tripods galore.
Yeah, awesome. Good job. Well, guys, great work. Well, listen, if everyone, you post that into the expert arena. Let us know if you love the masterclass. I love it. Use one-to-one to lead clients into the business that you want to create, and set a standard. You might say, I'm going to do 5 one-on-one, and then I'm going to start my group. Am I right? Perfect. Great. Let's do that. Let's use your one-on-one to fund your one-to-many. We'll help you with that. That's awesome. A win's a win. As long as you don't build the business that you hate, which is not what we want to do. We're just doing it to get you moving. That's the thing. That's the important.